Well, we are moving into picks and bans now for Game 2. Fable got to go back to the drawing board and try and do something different. Guan jungle, give me your thoughts on that one, Tully, because I feel like Auzrik just didn't have nearly as much pressure as Rapio.
I think his intent to try to go aggressive around that level 7 marker was misguided.
Sure.
I think that allowed Rapio to definitely separate away, not to mention Predators finding the solo kill onto Waldrom, which also stole away the speed buff. That starts spreading the gap between the two junglers in slow, methodical ways. It was a combination of multiple rival members shutting down Auzrik to allow Rapio that lead that he had.
Well, that's what's so tough. When both junglers are doing well, it kind of feels like one bad gank attempt or like one bad call on the map can put you behind your opponent. If you go towards solo and you're not able to find anything and you're missing farm for like 30 seconds or 45 seconds, you can get behind, especially if Rapio is able to find some kills.
The waves are very important, and Rapio was doing a good job sharing a lot of the waves, and Auzrik was just getting behind too quickly. Rival respect the Robin, and even with them being first pick, they want to go with a different strategy, so they're going to take the Robin away, not allow Auzrik the same aggression that Rapio had.
Yeah, I think Auzrik would be looking much better if he'd been able to pick that Robin up for himself, as Zeus is what's banned out by Fable, along with the Achilles, so fairly standard bans. This Robin, though, like you mentioned, is an adjustment from Game 1, though would not be surprised if we see the Guan Yu get prioritized early, a Terra get prioritized early. Those are some of the picks we've seen a lot of.
Giannis with the mobility, potentially. Terra will be the case. The root, the stun, you got that Earth and Fury. There's just so many different elements that Terra brings to a team fight that can't be ignored.
Yeah, DineOhSaw, I believe, was one piloting this before last game and looked great on it, so no reason not to give that right back to him. Chulainn is going to be selected for Fable here yet again. Didn't have the best game, but we'll see if they can get that working for him here again.
He was zoning in the backline rather effectively during certain goal theory attempts, but he couldn't really provide that swing that his team needed the same way that Predators was doing with the Hercules. Same idea from Fable.
I believe these were, the same ones they went with, the Chulainn and the Guan Yu, but the Raijin are going to come right back out for Fly, and why not? I feel like we didn't get a chance to even talk about all that Raijin damage that was happening in those fights. That's who Predators was pulling them into. It was pulling them back into the damage from the Raijin, and he was chunking with Fly.
And a lot of people ask, like, why isn't Hercules more meta? But honestly, it's not the easiest thing to hit that pull push, and Predators very successful in that last game, very confident in his abilities to set his team up, serve the enemy on a dinner plate to find multiple kills.
Now remember, Agni was banned out in Game 1 totally, so this is definitely a place that Waldrom's going to be feeling comfortable. And Agni, I feel like, is a little safer because that dash is longer range, so if he wants to go the Soul Reaver start again, it'll be a little safer on this Agni, I feel.
It's potentially the case, but I still would like to see a Warlock staff.
Sure.
With how aggressive Rival is in team fights, you can never really be for sure that your teammates are going to be around you to heal you, to apply the gap shield, because Rival is so good about choosing one target and then hard switching on another at any given moment.
Totally, you're telling me that you don't plan around the 1v1 against a level 19 Hercules at the speed buff? That's not how you're planning your day to go? Is you're just a lone Discordia? No.
I want to be as far away from the Hercules as a Discordia as possible.
Yeah, that will end up being a problem for him. This is about as far away as you can be, though. Ban that Hercules away is what the move is going to be from Fable. Try and force Rival to do something else in that solo lane. I like this. He looked so strong on it, so get that out of there.
It's very true. I would love to see Auzrik kind of sit in that lane, but if he's going to play Guan Yu in the jungle again, it's not the ideal matchup to really find the kills, because Predators has definitely slowed down his aggression in the laning phase, at least. He's definitely not slowed down in the mid to late game portion, but that's where solo laners need to do. Like, once you are that level 15 and everyone's sitting around level 12 to 13, you have that advantage of the health and the defenses and the level discrepancy to make those kind of plays that Predators was able to do.
Wow, 2 solo lane bans coming out from Fable as they banned the tier as well. Meanwhile, Rival have turned their attention towards the Hunter. They take away Hachiman, which makes sense. Vaporesh already has his Ullr pick, which we know he's very, very comfortable on. So anything to make that Hunter or that dual lane matchup even better for him, I'm sure they're happy to do.
With the Hercules and the tier ban specifically, I'm just surprised that Fable don't consider potentially going to cripple. RDO specifically is a great idea to really shut that down at any given moment. You can even run that in the support. Very aggressive Guardian that can also set up the plays in the early game during the laning phase, carry that towards denying what the solo laner wants to do, whether that's Hercules or tier.
And looks like Rival were dead on with the .G ban. because Ratatoskr can be the next pick for Fable. So Guan Yu not going to the jungle, it would seem this time with the Ratatoskr on the board. So don't forget, these are scrim partners. They certainly know that Fable has some flex with this Guan Yu and recognizing that correctly.
A lot of mind games between these two teams, and it's always refreshing to see how the meta kind of shifts between two scrim partners and what they're able to come up with. So we're going to see a 3 physical frontliner from Fable and an Agni Xbalanque.
There we go.
Love it.
Man, if you're in your ranked games, are there 2 things they want banned more than the Guan Yu and the Xbalanque right now? And Fable got them, so this is your chance to see them in action, everyone there at home, as the Cabrakan and the Susano come through. These are 2 picks I think are strong, but we just don't see that much of them, Tully.
That's very true. The setup is good, though. The pull is solid. Yeah. The stuns, the walrus hands that Predators is about to apply onto Fable, you got to make sure that he's not going to do it to him.
Well, Predator certainly would be happy to do it to them if he is able to get the opportunity, as it is going to be the Guan Yu that's being played. And it looks like, this is what I was thinking for Fable, because we saw it was Bad Boy there in game 1. It looks like now Killy is back. And that was my initial thought here. So it looks like possibly Killy wasn't able to be there for game 1, had to go with their sub. And so now Killy's back here with them. So they got their regular duo lane standing strong here again.
The Guan Yu support going to provide a different kind of style and oomph than the Geb. It's going to be mostly about the clear, because when you use that Talu Assault, you're going to be bunching the wave together. But as a Xbalanque in the early stages, you have to keep that in mind. So probably not going to start off with a poison darts, considering that he's not going to hit all 6 minions with it.
Yeah, it's difficult to get that done anyway. It can kind of pull the minions towards you as well if you end up hitting the other team, depending on where they're positioned as well. So it can be a little bit tough with those early levels for a Xbalanque to clear effectively. So might just go with the Bola and try and clear that way, especially with Killy there to sort of help out with the clear and keep them topped off once it gets a couple levels.
RvL are going to stick their Hunter in the mid, trying to pair up with the mid mage, trying to invade the red buff potentially after. We've seen this time in and time out where that potential invade allows your duo lane more success, considering that the Guardian is holding the lane anyway. So once the Hunter comes back into the lane, they're getting the mid lane shared. They're getting another lane on the left side, considering that the mid lane gets to the middle faster than the left side and the right side get to the middle.
Right.
That's the potential strengths of this advantage.
They are going to come right up and grab that red buff. Meanwhile, DineOhSaw is just trying to tread water over in the dual lane. It looks like he didn't really keep his own wave that pushed back, really. So instead, the rest of Fable are going to come over and try and contest this red buff, which it looks like they're actually able to defend was Rapio here in the Susano. So good job so far from Fable, or from RvL rather, to get this game started off with these red buff control.
Going straight for the red buff, ignoring his back harpies, ignoring the blue buff, recognizing what the idea out of Fable was and how RvL were going to go about it. And with that level 2 onto DineOhSaw, you could look to play aggressive and prevent any sort of shenanigans in this duo lane now.
Now they're going to come right back and try and come towards this purple buff, which was taken by RvL. So a couple waves are going to, or one minion looks like he's going to make it and get hit by the tower. So Fable really don't lose too much in the deal, but already level 2 for both Vaporish Coast and DineOhSaw, and Killy not quite there just yet.
And with a red buff onto Vaporish Coast, those basic attacks are going to start swinging, and all those abilities on top of it is how Ullr just makes some money on his lane. That's why he's drafted in a lot of the games. That's why in the last game it was Fable drafting him before the secondary ban phase, as RvL had to watch the aggression in the early phase from Davey in the last game. They're able to do it for themselves here in the second.
It looked like for a moment their Predators had Chronic very low over here in the solo lane. I know you spent a lot of time over here yourself. I mean, how does this matchup go for the Chulainn up against the Cabrakan, as he's getting good chunk out onto Chronic?
Just like that. If you can't disrupt the Cabrakan Tremors as a god, especially Chulainn, before you hit level 5,
right,
you are just going to lose the whole entire wave. The Cabrakan will out-clear you. You need potentially the jungler to come in and look for that early gank. If there's no mana buff on the Cabrakan, that's where the discrepancy could really lie.
Killy could potentially be in trouble, able to get the dash, but the jump comes out from Vaporish Coast. Happy to play this one aggressively. They switch targets over to Davey and bring them both low, but not able to find any kills. RvL's duo lane, again, off to a hot start.
Respecting the timers as the red buff respawns.
They gotta be careful though, Tully.
They're looking to invade, but look at this. Auzrik and Waldrom right around the corner. The stun is good.
DineOhSaw hits the axe. Not enough to keep DineOhSaw, who's actually going aggressively here into the jungle up against Auzrik and Waldrom. He's going to be looking for the retreat. Does have Rapio making his way over, flies in the mid lane. So everyone from Rival going to be okay after aggressing into the jungle. That does mean, though, that Fable were able to defend their own red buff this time.
This time around, with red buff still available for Rival, they could still grab that onto DineOhSaw, but keep in mind that the red buff for Fable went towards Waldrom and not Davy. So the Xbalanque that's trying to build stacks with the damage is going to take ever so slightly longer.
Looks like instead they are going to give that to Fly, try and help him keep even up against Waldrom there in the mid lane as Davy gets a little bit of poke. Man, that's pretty annoying up against Xbalanque, huh? The dash has so much damage on it, it feels like, and it feels relatively safe for him, too. You can punish him when the dash is down, but the actual shot's almost certainly going to hit.
That's true. The damage is respectable, especially if you applied the Poison Darts before the dash, which augments a little bit additional damage. But like you said, the dash being down, you could definitely take advantage of that. However, without the level 5 onto DineOhSaw, Earth and Fury is not available for Rival to really get anything quite yet. But I think that's what Fable are expecting. That's why they're playing aggressive.
Davy is going to step up. Xbalanque appears to be in prime shape here. So they got the gank coming in from Auzrik as well. DineOhSaw, though, jumps away. DineOhSaw going to be fine as well. That's going to be the through the Cosmos down for Fable. And they really didn't get much out of it. It looks like everyone able to hold on to their relics on the side of Rival.
Whether it was called, whether it was seen, whether it was heard, Rival just backed away from through the Cosmos, and Auzrik's gank ineffective. And between a 3-wave shared experience, this doesn't allow Fable to get that level 5 marker that they were looking for.
Able to get the dash on Davy. So that's a lot of damage they put into the dual lane. Checking in on the solo lane, though. Predators just backed. He did get the teleport, but he has the pin boots already and the tier 1 for the breastplate. So a little bit of extra protections to help him out in the trades that Chronic doesn't quite have just yet.
And with all those ticks from Tremors, that penetration is going to go a long distance. Right around the corner is Auzrik coming with the seismic shift, finding the damage, and Rapio right around the corner.
They're going to knock him right up into the whirlwind. Rapio able to find Chronic. Auzrik trying to keep things even, but actually gets pulled back in by Rapio. Can't quite find that last hit, but yet again, first blood going over to the Rival, and who else or Rapio? I mean, this guy is everywhere, every game, able to come make it happen in solo lane this time.
He doesn't just stick to one strategy game in and game out. He'll always kind of adapt on the fly, no pun intended, with his mid laner there, as he ganks the solo lane. Last time around, he was just kind of chilling in the mid lane for the most part. But as a Susano that can look for a lot of plays, without Auzrik's ultimate, he was free to kind of ensue any aggression path that he wanted to take.
And that was perfect timing from Predators as well. It looked like Chronic didn't have the leap available, so that walled him off, brought him right back towards the rotating in Rapio, even with the ultimate coming out from Davy, even with Auzrik being there as well. Team Rival just had too much damage onto Chronic, put him down early, and now Predators has the level lead.
This is a sweet spot to gank solo laners, that level 5 to 7 marker before the defense and the health truly becomes a factor. But even after that point, I think Rapio can still look for those plays, considering it's a little bit of a mixed sandwich between Rapio and Predators. You got magical damage on one side, physical on another. This poses a question to Chronic. All right, like, what do I build? And he's going for the magical defense option, allowing Rapio more damage.
He's going with the buckler, so Ankile, Runic Shield are possibilities. Runic Shield can be strong, but the Ankile might be better, I guess, because it can interrupt the Tremors. Yeah.
That's got to be the play, honestly. The Tremor is so disruptive, but it's an 8-second cooldown without cooldown reduction to be considered.
That's right, yeah. So you can have that up fairly often and really still be able to get those Tremors off anyway for Predators. So even with that little bit of disruption, still probably going to have a good time clearing it out as he's working on a breastplate. It looks like himself perhaps going into some cooldown so he can fight more often, but once again, Rival looking strong early on in the game.
It's a lot easier to build against a double physical than it is between physical and magical. So that Breastplate of Valor, more than likely from Predators, is going to go a long way, especially the cooldown reduction. You're getting extra mana to spam the Tremors, considering that it consumes mana every second that it ticks.
Moving over to the mid lane, looks like Waldrom's still not electing to go with the Warlock Staff route this time. He's got the Boots Rush happening along with the Mage's Blessing. Looks like he's got the Lost Artifact, so maybe considering going into the Chronos Pendant could be the next option here for him, but still not electing to go with some of that health. A little bit safer on the Agni, though, with that dash, so might not get as punished for it this time.
The Agni dash definitely covers more distance than the Discordia Leap, but Discordia Leap disjoints a little bit. It can also go through very small walls.
Yeah.
So that's just a different form of escape, and you got that illusionary cloud that can keep yourself hidden. So Agni, yeah, he does cover more distance, but it's a different kind of escape.
That's a good point. There's been some debate about just how safe Discordia is. A lot of damage comes in from Waldrom onto Fly in the mid lane, because she can also time the jump to just avoid damage altogether, right? Just with the immunity that she has on it, the immunity frame. So it just depends on just how well you're able to play it. Maybe a little more execution-based for Discordia to be able to get that same safety, and she isn't positioned quite as far away. So depends on what you're up against, really.
Can't forget the utility that she has with the cooldown every second that she's inside. There's Killy, forced to disengage with the ultimate. Did steal away the purple buff, but with all those blue buffs gone, I still believe that RvL have the better one, all things considered, as there's a 1-level discrepancy as ChronicThe Bro sitting at level 9. Predator is very aggressive at level 10.
Yeah, looks like RvL are able to have the experience. They're about 1,500, going their way about 1,000 gold. As this game getting out to a little bit of a slower start, I would say, but RvL doesn't have, or rather, Fable doesn't have quite as strong a late game. I mean, how would you classify this one? They still have the Guan, but they don't have the Gab to go along with this one this time. They do have the Xbalanque, though, who's very strongly.
It's still a good team fighting composition in a different manner.
Yeah.
They have the Agni bomb stuns, which is going to provide a lot of control in these team fights. Xbalanque is going to do a lot of damage, but they don't have the same amount of control, I would say, that RvL has. Even though that they do have the Agni on Fable's side, RvL having Terra and Cabrakan. You also apply a Rapio pull, a Rapio knock up on the ultimate, and I still like RvL's chances.
Yeah, even Fly can provide some control with that Taiko drums, just depending on what is needed. He can kind of dip his toe in there and then still turn to damage for the rest, as those walls do clap on the Waldrom. Fly not immediately able to follow that one up, so RvL certainly have a strong team fight here with this composition, but I mean, so does Fable. Really just depends on who's able to get this early lead. Is not able to even make it up onto the tree. Auzrik deleted.
The poor squirrel didn't stand a chance against that one. 3 members, too strong for him. But we always forget that Fly also has more control with that leap. It applies that very short mez, which will disrupt Killy's Taolu assault potential.
That's right, could potentially stop any kind of channel abilities or make life a little bit harder for them, as ChronicThe Bro is going to continue to box out with Predators, but yet another kill, this time catching Auzrik in the jungle. 0-1-0 now for the jungler for Fable. GG, as ultimate does come out from Davey. Not able to find anything. Not looking at the Gold Fury just yet either. Instead, both teams looks like going to fall back as Rapio actually goes to invade the jungle.
Very well could do that, considering that it's just a respawn occurred from Auzrik. Applied himself to the left side of the map. Still having the ultimate, considering that he couldn't get up there, and it's a 2v1 onto Chronic.
Chronic does have, remember the Unkile, though. That passive just came out. The tectonic shift going to lock him in. Rapio finds the last hit. Predators and Rapio, a Bruise Brothers in their own right over here on the solo jungle side, putting it to Fable.
Just didn't have the rage to transform. Waldrom going to have to dash away, applying some more bomb damage onto DineOhSaw. But with the Monolith, I don't expect RvL to be deterred from continuing to be aggressive. The Gold Fury still available, but Vaporish Coast left alone in the left side. He's still just kind of casually farming away. He has Transcendence fully completed stacked-wise.
And we can't even say that Cabrakan's damage is a surprise, as this fight is on. Earth and Fury comes out, and up in the air is Auzrik. He does land on the backside of Vaporish Coast, who doesn't have much help. Dash going to come in, but the sprint is going to be able to get him out, and now DineOhSaw is in no man's land. He gets caught by Killy with that horse, and Auzrik takes a good bit of damage as well from the arrows. He's done!
Predators on the backhand side. Davey, the next victim. Fly with the shots from a distance. Mezzing and jumping onto Killy. There's all 5 RvL members taking out 3 and now going for the first goal.
What a turnaround in this fight for RvL, because that initially felt like it was going in onto Vaporish Coast on the backside. They get 3 kills, and now they're looking for the Gold Fury, while Predators is able to keep 2 busy on the backhand side. The only 2 that are up to defend. RvL now have almost a 4,000 gold lead, 5,500 experience as well, and Waldrom continues to get chunked.
They're not done yet. Predators trying to force a little bit more in that mid lane. They're going to eat a bomb stun just for his trouble, baiting himself out as Waldrom as he dashes dashes through, allowing ChronicThe to clean up Predators.
Fly goes over with the Thunder Crash, and I think that he could have been there to catch Waldrom after the dash. So a good play to catch Predators out, finally punish him for going too far forward. But at this point, I think they're happy to give up 1 life for everything they gained.
Yes, absolutely. Losing 3 members and the Gold Fury, Fable would rather be on the opposite end of that trade deal.
Oh, yeah. Any day of the week, but instead it goes out Team Rival's favor. They enjoy this lead for themselves. They had the same lead last game, and maybe the fighting was a little bit later, but they still were slowly building their lead in this game here too, totally. They come and force that fight near the Gold Fury. They win that one, grab the objective, and now they're looking good.
It's still a similar theme, though, with Rapio having a 3-level advantage over Auzrik that can't make the plays happen. When he tried to gank the dual lane, he was either called out, he wasn't in range. I'm not really sure where exactly he ultied from, but that wasted a lot of his time and farming potential to still give some experience to Rapio. Once Auzrik got caught out on the right side of the map, that gave more experience to Rapio, and these all little things are adding up for Rival's jungler.
We're able to steal away the red buff, it looks like just now, though, was Waldrom with the ult over the wall. 50-meter fly, though, wants to return the favor onto Killy, is able to use the Tycho jumps to pull him back in, but actually Thunder crashing in aggressively, and now the bombs are going to come out from Waldrom in return. Big ulta comes out from Rapio to create space, and Vaporous Coast takes down Killy. Davey falls to DineOhSaw as well, and now the fight's going heavily in Team Rival's way.
On the backside, Auzrik able to take out Fly, but not until Rapio responds in kind. Both soul laners about to make their presence felt. Waldrom trying to run away from Predators as Vaporous trying to run away from Chronic. Ultimate Warcry being used. Predators doing so much damage.
Setting it up for Vaporous Coast to come in and find the last hit. He's not going to be able to find it with the bladed or the hail of arrows. They've both been off the mark, and now the dash can come out from Waldrom. That might be on Vaporous if he escapes, but he turns around for the bomb stun instead. He should certainly be in range to get controlled, and he does. Rapio is able to clean it up, but Chronic rotates in.
4-man knockup. Needs to find a return kill, but he went onto Rapio instead of Vaporous Coast. I think that the one-shot was just there potentially, but wanted to go for the juicier prize. A 5-0-5 Susano gives you a bigger kill bounty than a 2-0-3 Ullr would.
Able to slow down the back there from Vaporous Coast, but just not enough. But going into that fight, Predators and Rapio had been involved in 100% of the kills. I mean, what more do you need to hear than that? They've been all over the place. Not the case, though, as Predators did take a spill in that fight now, but Rapio still is at 5-0-5. Pyromancer being looked at by Fable. Now Predators is here. He goes in and drops a good bit of damage. They're going to keep this leashed, and not quite, it looks like, able to strip that one away. It goes the way of Fable.
Still doing a lot of damage as Predators. Right around the corner is Rapio. Good stun from the Guan. Killy dies, but so does the solo laner. Fly, though, gets chased down till the end of the world as Rapio with a hot double.
2 for 2. It ends up turning out, but Pyromancer did go the way of Fable. Waldrom is here now to put good damage into Rapio. They dash in aggressively. Rapio's taking his first spill. Certainly here gets shut down by Waldrom, who needed that kill bounty. 1-1 and 2 for the mid laner for Fable now, as Rapio sits out for 40 seconds.
You play with fire, you're going to get burned. That's what Rapio tried to do. He wanted to time his jet stream to avoid the path of flames, but he couldn't really do so successfully. And that was a great turnaround from Fable. Despite losing 3 and the Gold Fury about 3 minutes earlier, they get the Pyromancer, they find multiple kills to shut down Fly and Rapio's momentum.
And they stole away a red buff in there too, I believe, when they came aggressively down. So Fable able to find some way to fight back as tier 1s fall on both sides of the map. The tier 1 grabbed by Vaporous Coast in duo and grabbed by Chronic over in solo, so it ended up being even across the map this time, at least in terms of towers that fell down. This gold lead, though, much closer now, 2,200 in Rival's favor. Fable is starting to close the gap.
Also, the experience gap is starting to get close. A 2-level advantage for Chronix. On the backside, Vaporous going to take advantage of Killy that had his back turned to him. Not where you want to be against.
Yeah, not very honorable was that Vaporous coming up on a man with his back turned. I don't know.
Definitely not honorable, but Vaporous, he's always looking to frag. That's why he plays that hunter role. Still, as I was alluding to, was the experience gap. ChronicThe Bros with a 2-level lead this time over Predators, whereas last game at this point, I believe both of them were sitting at that level 15 marker.
That's right. At this point, though, Rapio has done such a strong job for himself. Level 17, totally way out in front of even these solo laners, 7-1 and 5 as well. And he's gone for, it looks like, a bit of a late transcendence in the build. That's a big amount of power that you get in that item.
That's true. Well, you're not necessarily always looking for the stacks of this item, considering that you automatically get the 10% cooldown reduction upon completion. The additional stacks applies about a 22, 23 physical power bonus. So what you're really looking looking for is the cooldown between that item, and then you also got the hi-rez Lament.
So he's going to be getting those abilities off all the time as Auzrik looks for a target. It is going to be Fly, but he can't knock him up while he's inside the Tycho drum. Predators is low, but still looking to fight this now. Earth and Fury is going to come out as well, so Fly can put some more damage in over the top. But good ultimate from Davey to deter the aggression. But now the target's going to be Waldrom as DineOhSaw continues to chase.
Warcry being used to avoid the knockup. Oh, it's Auzrik that needs to dash away. However, he's getting caught between the rocks. Killy very low, but these Guan Yu sustains is keeping Fable alive in the team fight.
They've been able to continually disengage. This is how they wanted to play around this Guan Yu. Absolutely, as Team Rival come to look towards the Gold Fury, but he's going to be able to keep everyone healed back up with that conviction. It's at half health as the Gold Fury. Fable are here in full force, and the zoning is on Auzrik. Low Killy deleted already. They drop the Gold Fury, and they take the fight rather handily at this point. Predators, he's looking for ChronicThe Bros, who does jump away, but not jump away far enough. One more shot's all that is going to take, and they are able to bring him down.
Gold Fury has been reset, but not the fight. 3 Fable members eliminated. Still around the corners, Waldrom looking for the bomb stuns, potentially Fly. Fairly low. He has to use the Aegis.
That keeps him alive for the second, but not through the ticks. Waldrom at least able to take him down. Gold Fury still standing, and Predators now is in trouble. Double kill for Waldrom. Davey puts him, eventually falls down to Vaporous Coast, who turns right back towards the Gold Fury. Waldrom has the bombs available. They gotta zone him away.
He got the stun. Vaporous Coast with a double kill. It is an unofficial deicide, and the second Gold Fury for Rival.
Yeah, Vaporous Coast puts it right in his chest. I think they had a ward there over the wall, so they knew exactly where the Agni was. Gold Fury goes the way of Team Rival. The fight goes pretty heavily in favor of Team Rival, and what was a 2,000 gold lead just a moment ago has yet again ballooned back up to about 5,000. Fable looked good for a moment, but that fight's so big for Rival.
Surprising to see the Hunter to be the one zoning, especially also Fly that died earlier. Normally, it's the other way around. You want to have your frontliners to either zone them away or at least pull them back in. That's what Rapio's job can be done.
Sure. I promise, though, that Vaporous Coast didn't use the word zone in comms. He's like, hey, I'm going to kill him. I'm not zoning him, I'm going to kill him. And that's what he went to go look for. So, yeah, normally that's not how that goes. But he's got a big lead, 5-0-5 for this Ullr over the level 14 Davey, who's been struggling at 0-3-6 at this point in the game. So Vaporous Coast's impact still certainly ahead of the Xbalanques at this point, now level 18.
And it seemed to me as it was a quiet 5-0-5.
Yeah.
It's not something that he found multiple solo lane kills. It was him surviving against the gank from Auzrik. And then team fights started to happen, and then Rival allows Vaporous Coast a lot of freedom to find the kills.
Yeah, Chronic could potentially have been in trouble. Actually, it's Killy who's now down to half health. Auzrik goes up onto the tree, and he's looking for a target for himself, but he's all alone at this point. He might want to be careful. Waldrom does finally come to join him, and he is instead just going to retreat. Pyromancer now being looked at, but it is warded up.
Flying, going to get stunned out from Waldrom. Needs to disengage from Predators. Stunned out, taking a lot of damage. Walled out from his assistance. Forced to use the Aegis, but it's not going to be enough time.
Does get the 2-man stun, but eventually falls either way. Predators can continue the chase onto ChronicThe Bros as Pyromancer goes the way of Team Rival. Actually, the teleport's going to come out to keep the tier 2 alive, as Davey had just kept pushing it in this dual lane alone.
A lot of desperation from Fable. Rival are taking advantage of the split push, securing themselves the fight. Chronic was just a hair too short.
And now he's going to pay for it with his life. He does fall, but the rotation coming in from the rest of Fable. Auzrik finds Rapio, and they're going to continue looking for the fight of Vaporous, who stands tall and continues to box. Fly is right here with him. The axe stun lands, and he is able to juke out for a couple more moments. Killy kind of just hiding around the wall, is able to get the heal off onto himself, but not going to be enough. The last hit from Vaporous Coast takes him down.
Trying to use the wall as a line of sight path breaker to get the heal off, but just didn't have the dash available afterwards. Great performance from Rival, respecting the fact, like, okay, listen, like, yeah, you could get our tier 1 on the left side. You could almost get our tier 2 on the right, but we're going to go for a better objective with this Fire Giant with additional structure damage, 20% to be exact. They get the tier 2 handedly.
And the call was so clear from Team Rival as well. They just started burning the objective to just go for it. Everyone was right there with them following up. Phoenix being seized. Auzrik goes up into the air. He lands on the back of Vaporous Coast, but Waldrom's being controlled by Predators, and he deletes him there with the Trimmers.
Why?
Now with the Tycho jumps, Davey's incredibly low, but he just barely makes it out.
Knock up onto Predators. He's fairly low as well. Here comes the horse from Killy. Not going to find the stun. Needs to disengage. Predators is the call of Fable GG. Need to find an answer.
And now Vaporous Coast able to find Davey. Predators is still alive, and Fly is here in support to try and keep him alive. He's still standing inside the damage. Now he's got a little bit of help from the Terra as well. DineOhSaw trying to help keep the Cabrakan standing, and ChronicThe Bros is the one who's in trouble. Somehow Predators makes it out.
DineOhSaw is doing so much work. He's chasing the squirrel around. Killy gonna find the heal as Fly is rejoining in the fight. Mid Phoenix has fallen. Looking for more kills. Finding a nice double root, but the dash available for both of them.
Long range axe comes out for Vaporous Coast to get the stun onto Killy. Remember, the mid Phoenix has already been taken down, so Team RvL already have kind of made this Fire Giant worth it, but they still got more in their sights. They're going to come over towards this tier 2 on the solo lane side, and RvL continues when they group up as 5 to look hard to hold a candle to. They are just so strong as a unit.
Despite the dominance from RvL in the second game, I still believe that Fable made some great adaptations in the second game. Being able to shift between their Geb support, so a Guan support, being able to have these 3 frontliners to allow these late game backliners to shine. Unfortunately, they just had no control over the early to mid game, but their composition on paper has always been pretty seal-proof.
Yeah, I've liked the compositions from Fable both times, and it looks like they've been playing towards the strategy they laid out, but Team RvL has just been that little bit better. And how could I not be giving credit all the way to Rapio and Predators? I mean, these two for Team RvL are the ones in the early game that are getting the whole locomotive started so that Vaporous Coast can rotate in later, so that Fly can come in later and start chunking for all the damage.
And Rapio is one to not necessarily make the flashy plays. He's the one waiting for the setup just like that. Predators is the one making the flashy plays, and that's why he was the one with the MVP in spring.
That's right, and he'd earned it very well as Waldrom gets chunked in the mid lane and has got to retreat. Axe lands onto Auzrik. He's already deleted. Rapio finds that last hit with the ultimate, and already a 5v4 as they come over towards the tier 2 tower in duo. The only tower remaining aside from the 2 Phoenixes that are awaiting the siege arrival.
There used to be a squirrel in the mid lane.
Oh yeah.
It won't be there any longer for another 40 seconds waiting to respawn. 24 minutes into the game, RvL eliminating the last remaining tier 2 tower out of Fable, working on their second Phoenix on the left side. It's a 5-on-4 advantage with Fire Giant still around their waist for about 20 seconds.
Waldrom's already used 2 bombs on the defense while the rest of Team RvL is going to heal up, so he should have some time to get those back for him. They're waiting on the waves. They can go in and make their siege. And Predators, who's going to be the front line, he drops the wall, isn't able to lock anyone in. Instead, turns his attention towards Killy, who's incredibly low. Chronic is trying to keep everyone back on the backside, and Predators is being brought down low.
Trying to find Predators with a push back into his teammates, but Fly with the shots onto Waldrom. No bombs for you.
Double kill now for the mid laner for Team RvL. Phoenix is in the sights of the blue squad as they continue to push out Fable DG, who actually had to defend the Titan. Minion waves are pushing in. Vaporous Coast continuing to shred the Phoenixes. Killy falls to the pressure from Rapio. Even with Auzrik coming in off the ultimate, it's not enough to push him back. Phoenix is getting low.
Rapio couldn't find the pull, but the left side Phoenix will finally go down. 2 Phoenixes successfully stripped away from Fable's hands. 25 minutes into the game. Fable, though, they did find some kills. Not in that necessarily team fight, but more kills than the last game.
What was once a close game, Tully, is no longer. Team RvL now, the owners of about a 15,000 gold lead or something very, very close to that, more like 14,000. I mean, at this point, it's going to be so difficult for Fable to try and defend. 11,000 or 12,000 experience as well. That one not quite as relevant as the gold lead is, but Fable still have items to finish. I mean, 4 items for Waldrom, not even quite 4 items yet. About the same for Killy as well. I mean, they're feeling this difference.
The range from Fly's taiko drums is not allowing Fable's composition to really work out for them. If you're going to lose Waldrom at the beginning of a team fight, no bomb stunts available, no long-range artillery damage. Now the frontliners of RvL go left unchecked, and all of a sudden RvL are continuing to dominate all aspects of this game. So Fable, they need to at least stall the game out for potentially another 6 to 10 minutes to get that last 5th and 6th item completed. But with this enhanced Fire Giant and another kill onto Davey, RvL are not going to wait another 6 to 10 minutes at all.
No, not at all. Able to catch him out was Predators between where the tier 1 used to be in the jungle. Instead, they're going to come towards the Fire Giant, which there's no way for Fable to try and defend. And Predators is not even with the team. He's just kind of roving around the map, looking for anyone foolhardy enough to challenge him at this point in the game. The damage on this Cabrakan is ridiculous, and he's going to continue to drop it on the Fable if he catches him in the jungle. Auzrik could potentially be a target. I think he still has the dash, though, so he should be okay.
He just wants to proc that Mad Guy's cloak, and that's what he's going to do. We have the Tremors. Mid-Phoenix has respawned, has been held for the moment. Look at the damage onto Waldrom. DineOhSaw not going to let this one go with Rapio.
Yeah, Rapio going to continue to get the chase, pulls him back in and takes him down. Rapio, though, might be a little bit too far forward. The horse comes out and they make it a 1-for-1. But now Killy's in trouble. Tycho Drum to pull him back in. Can't find the last hit just yet. Now he's blind and forced to retreat his Fly.
Going to be able to dash away ChronicThe bros, zoning away DineOhSaw, trying to survive for a moment longer as Predators takes out Davey in the backhand side. Solo lane things between the both of them.
Yeah, no one to help out Davey, and he gets caught out almost the moment that he respawns. Chronic can't handle the autos. DineOhSaw is able to take him down. Killy is able to find Fly, but now Killy trying to box up against the wrong man. DineOhSaw happy to stand tall. Auzrik gets pushed out on the right-hand side as well. Mid-Phoenix is now the one that's going to be under siege, as there's only 2 members standing to peep away RvL, who look to take the set here in just a few more moments. It's got to be a big defense from Fable if they want to make it happen.
Oh, the hail of arrows not on the mark, looking for the jump. He doesn't even care about the Mid-Phoenix because he wants this kill. Axe is not going to connect either, but he will find the basic attacks too. Dead members out of RvL, 3 dead out of Fable, but this Titans already have health.
Yeah, Titans at half health. There's only Auzrik and Waldrom who are still standing trying to defend. Auzrik goes looking for DineOhSaw, but the minions continue to surge in. The Bladed Arrow 2 strong double kill for DineOhSaw as they get the full-on deicide. Davies back up now, but he's just coming right back into a world of hope. Titan at half health. Predators gonna keep pounding the ground.
No.
Team Arrival get another kill and take game 2.
Oh, DineOhSaw just hitting the last nail in the coffin onto Davey. 34-10 this time around, as opposed to, I believe, the 22-4, looking so strong in the first week for RvL.
Well, if maybe you missed the LAN, or maybe you had some questions about why this RvL roster was able to win, I think you no longer have questions. They play just this cleanly. All 5 members of this squad are just this strong, and this is their scrim partners. These are ones they play against all the time, and Fable's a strong squad, and they made it look easy.
The composition was solid out of Fable. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't adapt to RvL's early to mid-game aggression. All the plays that they were trying to make from Fable's side was already recognized long ago between Auzrik's early level 5 gank that got spotted out.
Yeah.
Great disengage out of RvL's dual lane. They didn't allow any momentum for this Ratatoskr.
And I think the burst damage was just too high. We saw a couple fights where Fable was able to play around the Guan Yu heal and try and come back towards the Gold Fury, but they would just isolate you, whether it was Rapio on the Susano or Predators on the Cabrakan, burst you quickly, and there was really no chance to heal.
It doesn't matter if it's a tanky Guardian on you or that glass cannon assassin. RvL are going to throw their frontliners at you.
Yeah.
Waldrom and Davey, they couldn't really make it happen between the Agni and the Xbalanque respectively. It was still a great late game idea. They just needed to survive the early game.
Yeah, and even with Killy in there, Davey and Killy just kind of got outclassed by DineOhSaw and DineOhSaw in this set. I believe that they weren't really able to ever get that Xbalanque online, and they continue to struggle. Meanwhile, DineOhSaw was continuing to make highlight reel after highlight reel that game. They just had just too much from this RvL squad.
And the Ullr pick, this is why he's always banned away from DineOhSaw, that he's making the plays in the late game happen. The damage is just so respectable. And with how aggressive RvL is, that Fable can't adapt to that aggression to even go on to DineOhSaw that doesn't have any sort of natural CC immunity built into that Ullr kit.
And think about this. Rapio plays the Robin in game 1, and then RvL ban the Robin. And then they go to Susano, and he still looks excellent on it at that point. So it's just so difficult to try and find an answer to this RvL squad when they all have so many options to.
Well, that's week 1 from a European console side. I'm excited to see RvL back at it in the next one.
That's right. RvL going to continue to fight it out, but we're actually not done with console. We still have NA to look forward to, so it'll be a real quick break. We'll be right back with you.